Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, hope everyone's doing well out there. Hey, D&D players of Reddit, what is your coolest character concept that you've not gotten to use yet? Part 1. I don't know how much attention this post will get, but I wanted to share anyway. I have a character that a demon from the underworld who wants nothing more than to leave his boring life of torturing the souls of the innocents and become a glorious war hero. To that means he tricks a bunch of cultists into making him a warforged body. He uses some of his dark magic in order to cancel his soul from his demonic body in hell to the newly formed warforged body on Earth or whatever planet over this and he lives. From there, I would either make him into a fighter wizard subclass, or I will make him a warlock, but his patron being a demon of his own kind, or one even of higher power than he is from another plane of hell. I don't know, I just think that would be cool to play. I keep toying with the idea of a non-magical rogue obsessed with magic. He would specialize in arcana, sleight of hand, performance, and alchemy. He would brew potions and act like he casts spells. I'm not trying to play a trickster, but rather someone with a little more flavor. Like he is a squib, or someone who just can't grasp actual magic, so fakes it. I haven't played D&D yet, but there is a character I would like to play. A half-orc who was originally a competent mercenary until one day he was captured and had been tortured and experimented on. The only way to cope was to create a psychopathic personality who talks about random stuff and may break the fourth wall that takes control of the body while both personalities argue and fight over who has control of the body, while the original personality tries to guide the psychopathic personality to fight bandits and evil people only until they reach to a compromise. An archer who casts curses with their bow. They are a hexblade warlock homebrewed that their weapon is a bow rather than a sword. They are a pact of the celestial and an Acemccrank. Their backstory is that they have appointed themselves as a guardian angel and devote themselves to protecting this ragtag group of adventurers from any harm. A warlock whose patron is me. They were raised by a small cult who believes the entire universe is controlled by, insert number of players counting the DM here, human-like giants. One of these is much more powerful than the others, controlling most aspects of the universe. The prophecies say that the others will each select one hero, who they'll bring together to save the universe. These giants love to play with the whims of fate and determine near everything with the roll of the dice. Other additional details I've worked on is that they're a crazy Tabaxi who was kidnapped by the cult at birth. When I was 3 years old, I, being a rambunctious kid, broke one of my family heirlooms. A black smoke then erupted out of it, asking me, "I can help you gain power to fix all your current and future mistakes, if you accept." It was my mistake to accept. Me, being 3, did not care much about what he meant and accepted hastily. Little did I know, this being was waiting dormant in me for its time to come when it would take over my mind and control me like its puppet. Passing forward a few years into my 16th birthday, the entire village was gathered in the center of town celebrating my new manhood. The party did not last long, when a giant black being erupted from me, and in one slash, my entire town was cut into pieces. I did not know what happened. I confronted the being and asked him with tears in my eyes why he had done this. He said in an evil, snarled voice, "It was part of our little agreement." Then the memory came to my mind. I said, "This is not what I wanted," and he replied with, "This is what you agreed to. To gain power, I need souls. You wanted power. I needed souls to grant you that power. You made a pact with me, young one you cannot yet break." He would go on to teach me, inhabiting my brain, influencing my actions and my will for many years. I have kept my desire to break free and kill this demon deep in my mind so as to not be uncovered by him. Until my time soon comes when I can expel it from my mind, to be free from the bonds I so innocently put myself in, so that I may start a new and fresh life. Feel free to copy and paste this directly as your backstory. Class, warlock, race, any, alignment, evil or neutral. Mentioned this before, but a Loxodon swashbuckler rogue. Sorry if I said that wrong. He was originally going to be a troll character because of the puns, elephant of surprise. Also, if he gets caught during a stealth check, bad manners to mention the elephant in the room, etc. However, the more I started working on his backstory and looking into things, it started to get serious. His backstory is that he served a few decades as a government spy, infiltrating pirate ships to sabotage them. He has since retired, but given the lifespan of the Loxodon, sorry if I pronounced that wrong again, he is interested in a new path, the adventurer. And I know what you might be thinking, there is no way an anthropomorphic elephant can be sneaky. And to this, I raise you. Have you ever seen the skeletal foot of an elephant? It looks exactly like a human foot, walking on its tiptoes. I have yet to play this one. I've been waiting to play her for years and hope to do so one day. Here is her backstory. A half-orc that was raised by her maternal grandparents named Oluz. She would grow up in a human city that believes that if you aren't human, you're nothing. If you're a half-breed, you're less than nothing. She was abused and in many ways except she's still a virgin. Thank the gods. She always wanted to be a paladin growing up because of all the respect they were given by the people there. And so they told her that no being of good would give her the time of day, all because of what she was born as. Also, because her orc father attacked her mother in the worst way and died giving birth to her 9 months later. She has been told this for 8 years. The night she ran away only happened because she heard her grandparents screaming about something. She investigates and discovered the truth. The man that was supposed to marry her mother has agreed to take her away and have his way with her, all because she chose an orc over him. Talking about how glad they were for taking her away from her living parents who had married before even conceiving the girl. How it made them sick trying to pretend that they were happy for her mother, just so they can take her away from them and raise her to be a simple slave that would never question her betters. She waited for them to go to bed, grabbed things she knew she would need, including a sword that should have been given to her mother anyway, since it was a family heirloom that she had more than earned. They didn't just want her to have it for marrying someone other than who they had chosen. She runs away successfully, and with only a few minor hiccups that she nearly drowned in the river that met her when she exited the storm drain. She is found by a ranger who saves her from death and takes her in under his wing. She learns all the things she should have learned in the city, such as reading and writing. He adopts her as his own and has received full funding to be a paladin. She plans on one day leaving the church after some time and search for her parents that she now believes to be alive out there somewhere looking for her, and when she does obtain the vengeance she so craves against the city of bigotry. A performance artist's bard. Example: the fighter needs inspiration to resist a curse. Quick, I have to cut the heads off these dolls and cover myself in chocolate syrup to make a statement about the powers of the monarchy. I think this one would be fun for one game before it would get old though. Lately, I had been trying to find a place for this guy. His name is Kalar, the unlikely hero. He has a mark of Shadow Elf who is also an Oath of the Watcher's Paladin. He has the item Danoth's Visor, and I like to think that he wanders the ethereal plane watching the world from there, and when is needed most, he exits and takes down the otherworldly beings that are terrorizing whichever plane he shows up on. Though I see him as a better NPC than a PC. I want to play a wild magic sorcerer who is proud and has strong moral compass that includes the belief that magic is for con men and those who are compensating for something. I'd want to both roll well and be in a campaign that goes at least to level 5. An evil dragon stripped of his power and turned mortal. This dragon, Drow of the Wildfire, made his lair within the Fey Wilds, where he was a menace to the Fey and greatly feared. It was a powerful arch-Fey that defeated him in a battle of wits, that had the Fey full Drow into giving up his power, whereupon he took a mortal form. Drow, now appearing as an elf with draconic features, was then cast from the Fey Wilds and banished to the material plane. For the next few centuries, he gets humbled and beaten down. Under the firm guiding hand of a paladin, he slowly begins to change his ways for the better. He becomes a monk, learning to control his impulses and base instincts, and channeling his ki as a method of self-defense. Ashamed of his actions in the Fey Wilds, Drow adopted a new name so he could truly leave his shameful past behind him. Now known as Dante, he wanders the Sword Coast, learning about the humanoids of the material plane and puzzling out of who he wants to become, and whether he does want his old power back. When the party meets Dante, he will be with a fellow PC whom he has been traveling with for a while, as hired muscle for the frail little scry. Race, functionally half-dragon. Class, monk. I have this idea that I want to play a character where the players and characters alike wonder to themselves and even aloud at times, how is this person still alive? Because by all accounts they could, they should have died. Someone who has escaped the mortal coil more times than there are springs, but are not undead. The closest that I've come to putting it into a class or a race is a Goliath trickster cleric. Dumb as a rock, and not that much wisdom either. They would ideally have the lucky feat for obvious reasons. It's broken in the sense it won't combine well, but it was for a homebrew game that never happened, and I love the backstory so much. Started as a ranger with ties to the Fey Wild. Worked with the DM, and he was going to decide when I pick up a curse. Only way to cure this curse is by making a pact with an archfey warlock multiclass. The whole concept was broken, but I liked the idea of fleshing out the story with it. The DM even decided that I could try to imbue some of my arrows with unused spell slots into my arrows for an effect bonus such as cold, tangle, extra damage, etc. It had a risk of being too much, so we agreed to pull it back in that case, but I'm looking forward to maybe getting a chance to do this character sometime. Hey everyone, Brian Von VA here. If you liked today's video, then please leave a like, and if you're new here, then of course hop on that train of subscribers, ring that bell, follow MrRipper on Twitter and Twitch, and make sure to join our subreddit r/MrRipper, where you can submit any and all stories for us to read. Using a help action, you can always come follow me, Brian Von VA, over on my YouTube, where I voice your D&D characters, stream some games, and do other voice actor related things. Links are in the description below. With that said, at the time of this recording, I know things are still a bit rocky, and in some places, like the UK, getting kind of rockier. I want to make it very clear that we just have to hold on a little longer and make sure to keep in touch online as much as we can, which is the safest place we can do so right now. It's all about building those genuine connections when, where, and how we can, and to make sure we still talk and breathe at the same time. Even though we can't go on about, of course. All the love to each and every one of you. Please be safe, be happy, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.